Hello, guys. It's me, Butterfly Spirit 314. Let me turn my computer sound up here. There you go. Okay, so I want to tell you guys about my experience yesterday. So basically, yesterday there were some pretty powerful, they said tornadic storms, which I would say there was tornadoes in my area. So basically, a few days back, I was watching the weather at work, and they said that there was going to be a severe storm and stuff, and they said there was going to be a tornado warning in with that. And so I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Uh oh," you know. And the crazy thing is that like it was going to be in the 70s. So we're almost to spring. So spring will be March 20th. And I thought it would be nice to get a couple of days of nice weather, you know. So we had a couple of days of nice weather. It was nice, you know, and I was relieved because I was sick and tired of the damn snow and all that stuff. I didn't want to deal with all that. So um, I was concerned. The more they talked about, we went from being a three in like the orange to like a four. And that meant that we were going to have a possibility. Well, not just, well, we'd have a possibility of there being a possible tornado. And they kept saying possible tornado. I'm like, oh, if it's a possible tornado, that means it's possibly not going to happen. Well, possibly doesn't exactly illustrate things. So we were going to be in the heart of basically the in the red as to what could happen. And so right there in the Midwest, if many of you guys saw like the map they had, because I live in Missouri, so that's literally where red. That was where it was going to be the most activity because it was warm weather here and stuff. And there was supposed to be a storm coming from, I believe, California and making its way here. Okay. And it was windy the past couple of days. So, um, I mean, it wasn't too bad, you know, as far as I was concerned. On, I think it was like Wednesday, wasn't it was nice and pleasant, you know, 78. And then, you know, it's just been nice. So we get to Friday. Um, I'm at work, okay, and the weather is on on the TVs and stuff because at my job they have TVs. Um, and they have the weather on. They're talking about how the weather's going to be and everything. And they're saying it's going to be possibly a tornado, but they still said we're in the red. What I ended up doing when I was at work is I ended up like literally watching videos about tornadoes because the day before I was already anxious. Okay. And I'm the type of person, I don't like tornadoes. Okay. I don't like them or anything. I just don't. Um, to me, tornadoes are super scary. I had anxiety. I didn't know I get storm anxiety, I guess, but I do. And so I don't like them personally. So when I was at work, I ended up seeing I was on YouTube when I was at work, and I saw that there was a guy that was live, and he was talking about the storms and stuff. And so he was talking about the different storms that were happening across the United States. And, you know, he was talking about storms in like, I think Iowa and Kansas and stuff, and things, how the storms were and stuff. And they knew it was going to be, the storms were going to be on their way here to Missouri, where I live. So they were going to be on their way here. And they're like, well, it would be a while before the storms got here. But once they got here, who knows what was going to happen. So the guy was on his channel. I think his channel is called, um, I can't remember his name on YouTube. I know it's Ryan something. But I basically was watching the guy's channel because he watches like the storms and stuff and things. And I had seen his channel a while back or something like that, but I was like, I wasn't too interested. This time I was interested as hell because the storm was coming for us. So I was like, and it wasn't just one storm, it was multiple storms. So what I did was on Thursday, I heard my coworker, she was talking about how she was getting prepared and stuff. And so I was like, okay, well, I didn't think about preparing for the storm or anything like that. Nothing about it. I didn't start thinking about preparing until yesterday on the day the tornadoes were coming. Okay. So, one thing that I did, because I kept the guys live on while I was at work. The guy was talking about the storms and stuff and everything. And the cool thing is that there's like storm chasers and stuff in different states and stuff across different cities. That was basically like watching the storms and stuff. And these people have to be brave as shit because do you like how the hell do you like literally like have people out there chasing storms? Like that's guys do some scary shit. Okay. Now, while I was at work, I didn't do myself any good, but I ended up watching the trailer for Into the Storm. And it wasn't the best idea for me to do this because I ended up seeing that trailer where the people are standing outside and they see a tornado forming right in front of them. And the boy, he's like a teenager, and he's just like recording it. And the tornado touches down and shit. And he's just recording on like a video camera. And I'm like, what the hell? And then, this guy ends up running into, I don't know what the hell he ran into. This guy that was driving. And then this lady, she ends up almost getting sucked into the storm, into the damn tornado. I'm like, oh my God, why the hell did I watch this shit? you know? But I think what I was trying to understand yesterday was like, what in the world is I was trying to understand the weather because they're like tornado warning, tornado watch. I was trying to understand like the difference, with tornado warning versus a watch and stuff like that. So a tornado watch is if they actually spot a tornado that's like on the ground. A tornado warning is there's all the ingredients possible for there to be a tornado, and like everything can come together to produce one. And so, I found myself just like doing research, before I even found myself like coming home and stuff. So I was anxious, but I was using my anxiety to like look stuff up and everything. And I was talking to people at work too. I was like, hey, what do you do during storms? Like, how do you feel and all that stuff? Because I was nervous as shit. So I was like, I better, ask other people. And different coworkers, they were like, oh, one girl was like, oh, I'm fine, I'm not scared by them because for her, she uses it as a basically she used to be scared of tornadoes, but what she does is that she uses it as an experience of like she called it romanticizing a tornadoes. And I was like, I don't think I could do that. I could. And what she means by that is she does things to kind of take her mind off of it. So she'll like, take a nap, or she'll like watch a movie or something. And she'll have like something she does every time a tornado comes. So like ordering pizza, watching movies or something like that. And that's what she'll do to kind of deal with it. So she's not scared of it. Me, I cannot. I don't think I can do that. So when I got, and other people I talked to, like I said, one of my coworkers, she already had stuff set aside. For her, she lives on her own, so she kind of got stuff ready. She put her like furniture outside her house next to her garage and stuff, took down wind chimes and everything. So if a tornado came, it would not have anything to project towards her house, which I think was super smart. So we're going to fast forward to when I actually got off work. So when I got off work, what happened is when I got off work, I knew right away I wanted to make sure that I got myself ready and prepared. So I knew that I wanted to watch the news, and I knew I didn't have any batteries in my remote. So I went to Dollar Tree, got me some AAA batteries, because I thought I had batteries for my remote, but I didn't. And so I realized that I better go get some because I need to be watching the weather to see what the hell's happening. Okay. So got me some batteries from Dollar Tree. It took me a while to even find the damn things. It turns out they were at the checkout. Got me some AAA batteries. I came home and I put them in the remote to immediately turned on the weather. So this is about like 5:30, 5:45 or something like that. I parked behind my house because in front of my house there's like trees and stuff like that. And because last year a branch fell on my windshield and damaged it, I know during storms not to park on the front because there's potential for damaging my windshield. So I parked in the back behind my house where there's not going to be any trees that can like fall on my windshield because I'm not trying to replace that. It was like 300 and some dollars. I got a good deal compared to $1,000 most people would pay for that. So got a pretty good deal and my windshield's still holding. So yay. So anyway, um, got my batteries in my remote. And then when I came into the house, well, after I put the batteries in the remote, what I ended up doing was I ended up getting my getting things together. So I have my book bag, which I can show you. So, show you this. So what I did was when I came home, I ended up. So this is my book. This is like a book bag that I have right here. So with my book bag here, what I ended up doing with my pretty pink book bag, what I did is I started putting stuff into my book bag. So what I did is that in my book bag, I put like an outfit. So I put a pair of jeans, a shirt, um, there's some socks in here. Um, Now, one thing that I found out about when researching tornadoes is that it's important that you want to do what you can to protect your head. Okay, so I didn't have a helmet or anything, which I probably am going to be getting in the future because when tornadoes come, they can throw debris everywhere, and it's important to protect your head. Okay, so since I knew I didn't have a helmet, I wanted to make sure I protect my eyes. So I oh, I can't find the other ones. What I ended up doing is someone close to me, they gave me these goggles right here. So to protect my eyes or whatever, just because. So I got these out of my closet because these would be for me to put on to protect my eyes because I knew I was going to be going down to the basement, and if any glass broke down there, I'd have these on to protect my eyes from any kind of if like any glass broke from any of the windows downstairs or whatever. So I got made sure these were my book bag. In addition to like the outfit I had, I also got some candles here as well that I put in my book bag. So one, two, uh, oh, three candles. So I got these three candles that I got from out the closet. Just in case the lights went out, then I'd have some candles. I also made sure in my book bag, um, I made sure I got a lighter so that I can light the candles, just in case the lights went out and stuff. As you can see, my electric's on, so luckily the electric didn't go off during the tornadoes. So I had that. I also had some water. So I had a couple bottles of water that I put basically on the sides of my book bag and stuff. And they actually did come in handy during when the tornadoes were going through the area. It actually did help a lot. I also made sure in my book bag, I made sure I put which my wallet and keys are connected so that my car keys and house keys and stuff, they're connected to my wallet. So I made sure I put those into my book bag as well. Um, and I put all of that into my book bag. I made sure I was watching the weather to keep an eye on what was going on. So I had the guy that I had been watching at work on YouTube that was tracking the storms. So I was logged basically on YouTube watching his channel to see what was going on with the storms. There were like some wildfires and different things going on and stuff. And the guy was also tracking storms and stuff. So I would have that on. I also had my TV on to make sure that I was watching the local weather. They weren't really talking about anything. So I just kept my eye on the guy that was talking about the storms and stuff on YouTube. Okay. So I did that. But, I still kind of kept the TV on and stuff. But one thing I was thinking about is, okay, what can I keep doing in preparing myself? I already had everything in my book bag, which I showed you guys. So I already had everything packed and ready in my book bag. I already knew where I was going to be going. So in a tornado, typically they say that you want to go into the most interior room in your house that doesn't have any windows, or you want to go to the basement. So I was kind of torn because my basement actually has windows. Because it has windows, I was concerned about being in the basement, right? Because I was like, oh my gosh, what if there's all the windows, because there's like 4 windows in my basement. If the windows were to shatter, then I could get hit by the glass. But luckily I had goggles. So I was like, okay. So I decided, because ultimately I decided after talking to my brother that I should be in the basement on the lowest level possible. Because my basement is kind of almost like going into like a cellar almost. That's kind of like what my basement's like. So decided I was going down to the basement. If you know there's going to be a tornado, always have your safe space of where you're going. I learned if you're in a mobile home, please do not stay in a mobile home if there's going to be a tornado. Please don't do that, because a tornado can pick that up and throw it with you in it. Now, when it comes to people in apartments, if you live in an apartment, you want to get on the lowest level possible. Like if you live upstairs, you want to make sure you're downstairs. Like you want to make a plan to know where you're going. So if your apartment has like a basement, you want to go down there. I used to live in an apartment with me and my boyfriend. And when we lived in an apartment, what we did is we would go down to the basement. Now, the funny thing, when the tornado sirens was sounding stuff, many of our neighbors in the apartment, they didn't even go downstairs. They treated it like it was a joke, I guess. Like they were concerned. Me and my boyfriend, of course, at the time, we were concerned. And so we went down to the basement. Now, of course, there was windows down there, but damn it, at least we were on the first freaking level. We were on the basement floor. So if the tornado would have picked up that building and throw it, hell, at least we were downstairs. Okay. Like at least we were on the lowest level possible. And that's what you want to do. Get on the lowest level possible. And like I was talking about earlier, if you can get a helmet, like a bike helmet, you want to also use that. Also doing my research yesterday, I learned that you want to get you some pillows. You want to get you blankets. Okay. You want to get things, and you want to have a blanket to cover yourself so that if a tornado comes, you can cover yourself so no debris will hit you. Essentially, you got a sleeping bag, hey, use that. Use anything you can to cover yourself. Okay. So it's super important to make sure that you prepare. So I kept my eyes on the guy talking about the weather and stuff like that, about the storms and stuff that was going on everywhere. Now, crazy thing is that when I was watching the forecast, like the guy talking about the weather, he was talking about there was a place that my boyfriend that I used to be with, his hometown was about to be hit by that storm. Okay. And the place is called Sedalia, Missouri. And it was about to be gone through by that tornado. Okay. And I'm just like, are you fucking serious? Oh my gosh. And plus there's like flat land out there, and it's like farms and stuff like that out there. It's where they have the state fair. And I was like, oh my gosh, those poor people. I hope they're going to be okay. And because the land is really flat out there too, so that's a scary thing too. Um, I was concerned. Luckily, I know that you know boyfriend I had. I know his hometown's fine because well, I don't know. I don't live there, but I hope those people are fine. But I was like, shit, this is crazy. So was watching that. And then I still getting myself ready. And I did a tarot reading, and the tarot reading was telling me, like, gave me the message that there was something I was feeling unworthy about, and there was some missing information that I needed to know about something, like something missing that I needed to know. And so, I did feel unworthy because I was scared about what was going on. And I was like, and I felt like I had to, like, okay, I'm at home. Maybe I got to do this all by myself. But I decided to listen to the tarot reading, and I ended up going, and I ended up actually um, reaching out to family members. So I actually called my brother because the thing was, I wasn't sure whether I should stay home or whether I should go to my brother's house, because my brother is basically, he's the closest to me. I have relatives on my dad's side that are close to me, but I would feel more closer. I would feel better going to my brother's house instead. So I called my brother up, and I called him to kind of see what's going on with him, where he was, because if anything were to happen, uh, like here at home, if I needed to leave at a moment's notice, I wanted to make sure I knew that where my brother was, if he was at home or whatever. Turns out he was at home, and he was, I called him, he told me he was chilling, he was watching the weather. So he was doing what I was doing, you know what I'm saying? So, I talked to my brother and stuff, and I was talking to him. This was about maybe like um 6:30, maybe 7 o'clock. I was talking to him, and I was telling him about, like, just like, I'm watching the weather, and everything. He was watching the weather because he was concerned too. Um, and he was certain he wasn't going out anywhere. I told him, I was like, I feel the same way. So basically, I was talking, to my brother, and just kind of touching base with him. And here's the thing, too, guys. This is an important thing to do. If you know there's going to be like a tornado coming or any kind of extreme weather, reach out to family members that are close to you. Reach out to them to, just to kind of get a plan together about what you can do. Should there be anything, like, if you have like a tornado that's coming, you need to know, like, that you have someone's house you can go to. You don't have to go to your sibling's house, but you can go to like aunt, uncle's house, grandparents' house, somebody's house. Make sure you have an idea of where you can go and who is close to you in your family that you can go to in case anything should happen. You can go over to that person's house. So it's important to do that. You also want to check in on family members too, just in case, like if they're elderly, if they have any health conditions or anything. You also want to do that, see what you can do to help. If you can, if they're elderly or disabled or anything, if they need any help, making sure you can help them out, because maybe they need to get to a safe space. Maybe you can have them come over your house or something. Just like there's important things to be thinking about, when it comes down to it. So I was on the phone with my brother, and even though I was nervous and an anxious wreck, I still called my brother, still called him. And I talked to him for a while, and I think that helped me. Now, here's where it came, where the tornado sirens, they started coming. This was about maybe, I want to say about 8 o'clock. This is where the storms were coming. I still was watching the guy on YouTube. My brother had the weather on at his house and stuff. He was watching from his tablet. He told me he was going to be going down into his basement. Um, I was going to be going down to my basement. I told my brother, I'm like, I'm treating this serious. Like I'm not about to be fucking around, and I'm not gonna fuck around to find out. Okay, so I'm gonna be serious. So the tornado sirens started sounding and stuff, and my like while everything was happening, once the tornado sirens started sounding, I took my book bag. Um, I took I took my a couple of pillows. I took a blanket, a couple of blankets to my basement, and I made sure that I had some water. Like I said, I had myself prepared. I went down into my basement and stuff. My brother was playing the on his tablet. He had the forecast going and stuff like that, so he had that going. My brother told me like he had things charged, so he was charging his tablet, he was charging the two phones he had. I was charging my phone. This was before like the sirens went and stuff. I was already charging my phone, just in case. I was treating it serious as hell when the sirens was coming. By the time I heard them sirens, I was in my basement. I was not fucking around. I was in my basement. I had everything. Like I was saying, I had my pillows, my blanket, my book bag stocked with all my stuff, outfit, water, candles, lighter, just everything I can think of. When the sirens were going off, one thing that really did help was drinking water, because my heart was pounding like on my chest. I can hear my heart pounding, like for real. Sirens outside. But drinking some water from one of the water bottles I had actually helped to calm me down a little bit. Also, talking to my brother on the phone, that really helped me a lot too, because my brother had the news on. They were talking about the weather, so I can hear what was going on with the storm and stuff like that. Um, and that really helped. Now, it wasn't like it was kind of a one and done thing, because the sirens kept going on and off and on and off, and it was crazy because there were several storms that were passing through. Now, what I will say is that at first time I heard the sirens, it was just extremely windy, and it had been windy all day. But the wind, it was so windy and stuff like that. I can hear the wind, right? So that was something. But there was a point where one of the tornadic storms that passed over, I heard, loud thunder and lightning. In that storm, no rain came over. There was a period of time um, that there was silence, which I was freaked out about, because that's what you don't want to hear. If a tornado is coming and everything outside is completely quiet, that's when you want to be concerned. Okay, you want to be concerned as hell. So what I did is that and there was, like I said, the next storm that came over, I heard loud thunder and lightning. This time I started hearing rain, which is really good during tornado. If there's going to be rain coming, that is good, because that means that in a sense that storm is raining itself out, and that's getting it's cooling down your area. And when rain comes, that is a good sign. That is really good, because when the rain comes and stuff, you get like a tornado supposed to be happening. A tornado is not going to. If you're in an area where the rain is, that means the tornado might be off to the side or some other location near you, but the rain is helping because it's cooling off the area, right? Which means, of course, there's less energy for that tornado. Okay, in my opinion. So that storm passed over. Then there was another storm, lightning. The wind was going crazy outside. I thought my front door was gonna, like my screen door was gonna fly off because of how strong the damn wind was yesterday. That next storm that came through, this one was so one had rain and with wind. The other one that was concerning was the one with the hail. Okay, when it started hailing and stuff, the hail was concerning. But I knew that this storm was coming over, and I was like, okay. I think the thing that helped a lot during the storms that were passing over was just talking to my brother and my sister-in-law during the storm. Like that really helped a lot. It really made things better. And I was able to ask my brother, hey, what's going on where you're at? I asked my sister-in-law what was going on where she was at, because we were all kind of comparing notes. When I didn't hear a siren, I might hear a siren first. Then my brother, where he was at, he's hearing a siren, the area he's in. My sister-in-law, she's talking about where she was at. She was further out. So we were all kind of comparing notes and we were talking during it. And that's something you want to have. You want to definitely, in addition to have your phone charged, you want to definitely have people. You definitely want to have people that you can talk to during the storm. You definitely want to do that. If you were scared out of your mind, like what I was yesterday, you definitely want to have people you're on the phone with. I learned that it's important to have a tablet, so I'm going to give me a tablet so that I can make sure that I'm connected to the internet and like watching what's going on, so I can make sure that I'm watching and seeing like the radar and stuff. But yeah, during tornadoes, it is not a good idea to be going out and about or be driving or anything. If you don't have to, don't. But yeah, one thing that super helped was talking to my brother and my sister-in-law. That really helped a lot. Us comparing notes, talking about what was happening. My brother may hear a siren, and then like 5 minutes later, I'd hear the siren, and then my sister-in-law, she may hear the siren. And the great thing is everybody was staying put. Nobody was out driving or anything like that. We were staying put. And stuff. And my sister-in-law, she was like, how is it we get a couple of nice days and then after that we get a tornado? I felt the same way she did. I thought I was the only person who felt like that, but she did too. But yeah, guys, like, if anything like that you can do, luckily I survived. In my area, I heard that there was 100,000 people without power. I'm glad that where I was at home that I didn't lose power. I'm glad I have a basement that I can go down to. I was on the steps in my basement, away from any windows and stuff and everything. I considered whether I was going to be on the first level, but I was like, you know what? No, get to the lowest level possible. That's where I'm going to go. Because if the house were going to be carried, I want to make sure that if the house gets carried, I'm going to be on the lowest level so it's not carried away with it. My brother was telling me about experiences that people he knew that a tornado came and like this happened to a couple of friends of his. Like he was telling me stories about one of his friends, like she had kids and basically she was like, oh, I'm going to get my kids and stuff or whatever. And we're going to get in the bathtub. And the second she got in the bathtub, her and her kids covered themselves. The tornado came, her phone went dead. I'm pretty sure she's okay, but tornadoes can come and do damage. All right. My brother was also telling me about another friend of his, a guy that ended up, he looked outside. He saw like some rotation outside his house. The second his friend, like, he didn't really have anywhere to go. So the guy just kind of like jumped into his bed and covered himself. After that happened, there was a tornado outside, but luckily the tornado like literally went to it went around his friend's house or whatever. Luckily, but these tornadoes are no fucking joke. Okay. I took shelter. I got so annoyed with the sirens last night. The sirens were on and off from like 8 o'clock. Oh my God, till like 11:30. There were sirens even still going off at 11 because there was the tornado had already, the crazy thing, it already crossed the river into Illinois, but they still had the damn things going off. So I went back down in my basement and I was like, well, I'll sit down here for another 10 minutes. By the time it was like 11:30, I'm like, I'm coming upstairs. When I came upstairs, I noticed that they said the storm was in Illinois. They said we were safe. We were in the clear. There was nothing more severe. I was like, oh my God. I can tell you guys outside, I did hear some things that sound like a storm went, like a tornado did go by or something like that a few times, different ones, but I did hear that. I didn't hear a train or anything like that, but I did hear some things that sounded like they could have been tornadoes going by because the hail and stuff like that came through and stuff. And I think that one was the tornado that came through, but there was like, I think like 3 or 5 or so tornadoes that were in the area that had rotation and stuff like that. But it was crazy. I'm grateful that throughout the whole time upstairs I was able to hear the weather. So at least I knew, like, if the TV went dead or something, then I'd know, oh shit, something's bad, something's going on out there. And I know my house was carried away if I didn't hear the TV anymore. So that's also something I was listening for. Lights did flicker. Luckily, the power did not go out. So that is, I'm so grateful for that. I was watching the light bulb in my basement with it flickering on and off and shit. I was taking it serious as hell. Okay, very serious. But yeah, guys, definitely. My brother was telling me there is not any U.S. state that there has never been a tornado. So all the U.S. states have experienced a tornado. Now today there are tornadoes that are going to be making it into my sister's area. She lives in Ohio. There's going to be tornadoes that are going to be heading for Mississippi and Florida and different other places and stuff like that to the south. They're going to be heading there to different areas. So New York, all the areas on like they're going to be getting it on the East Coast. So today they're going to be getting it. I'm going to call my sister to make sure she's prepared and she's okay. But I believe that, yeah, I believe some tornadoes did make their way through here. The great thing is that it was like 82 degrees yesterday. The great thing is that by the time I got home, the temperature, I could feel that the temperature dropped, and I'm so glad that it did because it dropped by 5 degrees. And I think that's probably what saved a lot of us here in Missouri was that the temperature dropped. Now, there were some wildfires and stuff like that happened in different areas here and stuff. Some people's houses caught on fire because the power lines had fell and stuff, and somehow it ignited people's houses and stuff. There were some people that their roofs were damaged and stuff or whatever, but they're still doing an assessment on the damages and stuff. I'm so glad that I was okay. Now, before I went down to the basement, of course, I did check to see outside which one of my neighbors were home, because if anything happened at my house, like if the house got blown away or something, I wanted to make sure that I knew which of my neighbors were home so that, one thing was to reassure myself that I wasn't alone, because during tornadoes, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm by myself. But the thing is that I realized at work too, it wasn't just me that was going to be impacted by this. There was a lot of people, that were going to be impacted. And looking across the street when I came home, like looking around and seeing which one of my neighbors was home was also important, just in case of safety. So if something happened with my house, I can go, up the street, down the street or whatever, and talk to my neighbors or whatever, if I need to use their phone or whatever, or to get a ride somewhere, then I would be able to do that. But, it's important to take these things seriously, guys, because tornadoes are no joke. No natural disaster is any joke, And it's important to be aware of them. You got some people who will go out there and try to take a selfie with a tornado. My brother was telling me there was this guy at his job that said that the guy he was training with actually opened the door to take a picture of the tornado. That guy was from Kansas. He must have been, I consider the guy to be crazy doing that. Because if I knew it was a tornado right outside my house, do you know if there's a tornado outside my house? I'm not going to open the door. I ain't going to open the door. I ain't going to open the window. I'm going to be in the basement. Okay? Anybody that's at my house with me, we going to be in that basement. Okay? We going to survive. We going to be safe. Okay? But yeah, that, like, I'm glad the storms passed over. I'm glad I got my electric. I'm glad I still have my car. I was worried that my car was going to be thrown or whatever and shit. I had all these ideas in my head. Oh my God, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Glad nothing happened. So that's a good thing. I don't know what's going on with my camera. It's like weird. Let me see. My camera is like acting freaking weird. Oh, there we go now. It's weird. Anyway, I made it through, but I encourage you guys, please, please, please take tornadoes seriously. Don't go out, go see a movie or anything like that when you know there's going to be dangerous storms. Heed the warnings of if there's going to be dangerous driving conditions. Please heed the warnings, whether it's a tornado, whether it's a snowstorm, whatever the hell it is. Heed the warnings. Even if it's a damn dust storm. Shit. Heed the warnings because nature does not fucking play around, all right? But I'm glad I get to report good things to you guys. So I'm okay. I hope other people across my area are okay. There's like stoplights that are out, some power outages and stuff. But I saw that the electric company, they are getting power restored to places and stuff. But there are people who've dealt with devastation and some people's houses burned down and stuff, which sucks. But I hope that everybody, I just hope everybody's safe and everybody's okay. That's the main thing. Nothing but love is what I feel. Nothing but love and nothing but good vibes is what I want to pass along. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video and hearing about my experience. I hope something in this video is going to be able to help some of you guys out there. Thank you for watching. Bye.